everybody, it is your girl Jade Ashley, and I want to welcome you back to a new video of When the Beat Drops. And like always, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats and music of this week, so you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's just get into this week's topic. So I know you guys already know for a fact that I'm gonna have to go back to last week's first beat and bring up Meek Mill and Drake all over again, because the madness just never stopped after everything that went down last week. So when we last left off, I talked about how Meek Mill came for Drake and Drake really didn't respond, and Drake really didn't respond until the day after I put out last week's video. So last week Saturday, I was just out enjoying my few summer nights that I have left before school starts, and I look out my phone and I'm like scrolling through social media right quick, and everyone's talking about, oh, Drake dropped this diss track. So I could not wait to get home so I can just sit and listen and grasp everything that he was saying. So Drake released a diss track called Charged Up, and it was Drake got a for effort because he came back in the form of rap. Meek Mill, he was talking about Drake on social media, and Drake was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill you with punchline. So his first comeback was Charged Up, and Meek Mill's response to that this track was basically like, it was baby soft. I think he said it was like baby soft. I can tell he wrote that himself and whatnot. So everybody was like, okay, Meek, so what's up? Like, we know you on tour and everything, so what you gonna do? And ironically, that same within this week, he ended up, he's on the Pink Print tour with Nicki Minaj and everyone else, and the Pink Print tour stopped in Drake's hometown of Toronto, Canada. So there was like rumors going around that, oh, Meek Mill, he's not going to be able to perform tonight because he's not going to make it past the border. So a lot of people were very much convinced that, okay, so Meek didn't make it into Toronto. But to everyone's surprise, he did make it in. But then you can see like a lot of Drake supporters out there in Toronto, they was wearing like these t-shirts that kind of reference to Drake's diss track Charged Up, where you have like the battery charger and there's one that's charged up and one that's not. So that was like Meek and Drake and stuff. So they did that. So then once he completed his run in Toronto and whatnot, Drake, he came back again. When I tell you, I woke up Wednesday morning and I looked at my phone. When you go on Facebook, when you go on Twitter, when you go on Instagram, when I went on YouTube, and people were talking about Drake dropping his second diss track, which was back to back. Now Drake, he definitely hit the nail on the head with this one, because not only did he come harder with punchlines, but the fact that he came with a song that we were able to dance to and enjoy, I was like, oh my god. And there was like so many memes. You know how social media works, you know how the internet works. So like people were making memes out of the punchlines that Drake was saying towards Meek Mill. So Drake was saying like certain things such as shout outs to all the boss bitches, wife and niggas. Another one he said was, is that a world tour or you on your girls tour? He was telling Nicki that she needs to get a prenup. Like, it was just like he was really like slandering Meek, and everybody was like, nah, Drake won. Drake won. If Meek don't hurry up and come back with a diss track, Drake definitely won. And I myself listened to back at least maybe 15 times, because I like the music as well. And then another thing in back to back, he said something to the fact, you gonna have me send the champagne to Charlemagne, and he really sent Charlemagne, I think it was like 6 bottles of like champagne. And you know how Charlemagne comes for Drake every chance that he gets, because he just hates the fact that Drake sings and he's a rapper. But he sent him the bottles, and he sent him a little note and stuff, and it said, hey, let's be friends. So like Charlemagne, he was like, you know what, Drake, he out here living his rap, so respect to him. So everyone was like, all right, Meek, so where's your response? He got 2 diss tracks out on you and you still ain't say nothing. So Meek's diss track didn't come out until last night. Like I kept on saying, Angie Martinez, she was like, I'm on Meek watch. So I was on Meek watch, and I was just, waiting to see what Meek Mill was gonna do, like I'm sure everyone else was. And basically his diss track premiered on Hot 97, and we waited and waited and waited. And last night it premiered. And his diss track back to Drake's first two was I Wanna Know. And my first thoughts when I heard it was, one, I didn't really get a chance to hear the song like in its total as an entirety. The way, Funk Master Flex played it, I was a little bit like sketchy, and I really didn't understand like what was going on. But then when I finally heard the diss track in its entirety, it was like, okay, I still don't understand what's going on, because to me, for a good amount of the track, it sounded like Meek was mumbling. So I was like, I'm gonna need somebody to decode this. I need the lyrics to read this, because I don't know what he's saying. And unfortunately, when I tell you everyone clowned Meek Mill's diss, like everyone made jokes, and it was like, no, Drake won. Drake got 2 diss tracks on you. Okay, and we'll let the first one pass, but that second diss track back to back, he was killing you in it. And I think the only thing that we were able to like kind of pick up and kind of like think about when it came to Drake from Meek Mill's diss track was he said something about Diddy slapping Drake in a club. We all heard about that. And then another thing he said towards the end of the song is he said that one of T.I.'s friends had like pissed on his arm or something at a movie premiere. Like, I don't know, it was something. So like when you compare the music, it was like Drake won. And a lot of people kept saying to me, so are you on Meek's side or are you on Drake's side? And I was like, I'm neutral, because these are 2 different rappers that have absolutely nothing in common, 2 different sounds, 2 different backgrounds. But in the form of the beef within itself, I would have to say Drake won lyrically. I'm just gonna put that out there. But that does not mean I think of Meek any less as a rapper than I did prior to my other videos. Like, he's still like Meek Mill to me. But when it comes to this beef, I feel like Drake won. And it's kind of sad because Meek was the one that kind of like started it all. And then earlier today he took to his Instagram and he posted a picture of Drake and Quentin Miller, who is the guy that was alleged to be Drake's ghostwriter. And he captioned the picture by saying, so this is rap now. You can have a nigga write your raps and that's acceptable. Just like in the street, you can tell on people and still be the man and get the same respect as the next man. It's almost over for the game, laughing out loud. I'm confused out here. I'm making all trap music after I do my thing with them. We still stay loaded. Quentin Miller changed the game. You the real MVP. So I'm like, I love it, honestly. to tell the truth, I love it. I feel like this is what we needed in hip hop. A lot of people I see, they made a lot of comparisons to like the greatest diss tracks in hip hop history. For this generation, we needed that. We needed to, because I'm sure somewhere down the line, maybe Drake and Meek Mill can like reconcile, because literally it just came out of nowhere, obviously on Meek's end. But we needed this. I mean, it's good for like the hip hop game, and it is what it is. I mean, I'm entertained. It's keeping us entertained, and it's keeping us wanting more. So I mean, it's just only better in the culture and making the culture more exciting. So I don't really care. I felt like we needed this. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this whole little beef and this whole little spat that they got going on right now, I'm gonna have to give it to Drake, because lyrically, punchline wise, he got Meek. And that's just the end of it. So we're gonna move on to our second beat of this week, and I kind of want to stay within the whole topic of the whole Meek and Drake type of thing, only because this week here in New York City, if you guys are not familiar with New York radio, if you don't live in New York, I'm sure you guys have like some type of access where you can listen to New York radio, because New York radio is definitely big, especially when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to music. And 2 of the hottest top hip hop and R&B stations here in New York is Hot 97, of course, and Power 105.1. So prior to Meek Mill actually releasing his diss track yesterday, he was supposed to release it earlier this week or something like that. And Funk Master Flex, he was sitting here talking talking about it on his show. He has like a night show here on Hot 97 in New York, and he just kept on saying to us, yeah, I'm gonna release that Meek diss track. And everybody was just listening. We were listening. We were falling asleep listening, waiting for this Meek diss track, and it never happened. So everyone was mad at Flex because they was like, yo, you said you got the Meek diss track, what happened? So then, you know, the next morning, one of the first morning shows that we hear on the radio here in New York City is, that was funny because I touched my hair and I was like hair, but I mean like hair. Here in New York City is the Breakfast Club over on Power 105.1, which is, you know, Charlamagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. And we know for a fact that every day, Charlamagne, he does Donkey of the Day. So this week, one of the donkeys of the days that he gave was to Funkmaster Flex. Now, everyone knows the history between Hot 97 and Power 105, and the long story short, they don't like each other. They have beef. So Charlamagne gave Funkmaster Flex the Donkey of the Day for basically hyping up everyone and making us think, okay, I'm about to premiere this Meek track earlier than what he did yesterday. And Charlamagne just went in. And this is not his first time giving the Donkey of the Day to someone from Hot 97, because he used to get at Mr. C when Mr. C had the whole transsexual thing going on. But, you know, so he went in, and, you know, Ebro, he used to be I think he was like the station's like director or something like that before he became like a permanent personality. So he has Ebro in the morning over there on Hot 97, and Ebro went off. He was not with it. He was like, I'm going to defend Funkmaster Flex. He was like, they told us they were going to send us the track and they didn't send it, and that's what happened. And he was like, over there on Power 105, I don't care if y'all got iHeartRadio behind y'all. He said, y'all only exist because of us. Y'all only pop up because y'all mention us. And I'm just sitting here like loving it. I just love, like, I feel like no other city has interesting radio like we have here in New York City, because you have Hot 97 and Power 105 going back and forth, and you just like, to me, these are radio stations that I grew up listening to. So I listen to both of them, but it's like, I just love the competition. It's like somebody has to be on top. But the way I view the positions of Hot 97 and 105.1, I feel like Hot 97, when it comes to hip-hop, when it comes to rap, R&B, they're legendary because they've been around. We talk about how, like, you know, the 90s was that golden era of hip-hop and R&B, and Hot 97 was that radio station here in New York. So for me, I feel like Hot 97 is legendary, but for right now, 105.1 is what's popping. Like, and you know, we got, you know, the Breakfast Club, like I said. Like, everyone talks about the Breakfast Club. They have one of the best interviews ever. We always talk about, did you hear that Breakfast Club interview, or did you see that Breakfast Club interview? And not to mention that last year, iHeartRadio was able to snatch Angie Martinez, a legendary personality from Hot 97, and bring her over to Power 105.1. So it was like, okay, they won. If you was able to get Angie Martinez, usually you associate Angie Martinez with Hot 97, but when you were able to get Angie to go over to Power, it's like, okay, they won. But the way I look at it is, Hot 97 is legendary, but like Charlamagne says right now, this is the industry as far as, you know, what have you done for me lately? Because if you ain't do nothing, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Not that Hot 97 is out of sight, it's just that 105 is more popular right now, but at the end of the day, Hot 97 is more legendary. But I love the bickering. I love it. I love it because it keeps everyone on their toes, like, and it just keeps everyone going. Like, I just love it. Yeah. So moving on to my third beat of this week, I have to talk about Angie Martinez. Like, we just, you know, I love the way everything is just segueing together. So I just mentioned Angie Martinez. Like I said, she's over at Power 105.1, and I would say she has what we would want to call, for right now, the interview of the year. So she was able to actually get an interview with Birdman and discuss what's going on. The last time I heard an interview from Birdman, he was up at Hot 97, and he only really talked about, like, when Tyga came out and said, I went off of Young Money. And then after Tyga said that, Lil Wayne had his whole, you know, I went off of Young Money and whatever, and everything spiraled to what it is now. So this was like his first interview since then. So Angie, she flew out to Miami like sometime last week, and she interviewed him at his house on his yacht, and she just basically asked any and everything that we wanted to know, and basically gave him the platform to give his side of the story and express as far as like everything that's going on right now with the whole Cash Money Young Money situation. So I have my notes from the interview because the interview was like a little bit over an hour. So I mean, obviously it was a good interview. So first off the top of my mind, before I look at my notes, first things first, when I was listening and watching in the interview, the first thing I kind of thought was, you know, like that drunk uncle that you got at like the family reunions, and like he sounds drunk but you know what he's saying, so y'all like in conversation but you know he sounded a little crazy. That's how I felt Angie that's what I was kind of getting when I was watching Angie's interview with Birdman. But getting into the points that he made within the interview, she kind of right off the bat, what is your relationship with Lil Wayne right now? And he was just saying, you know, that's my son, I'm his father, we cool. I just talked to him 2 days ago prior to when they did that interview. So he was like, we cool. Like, we talk on the phone all the time. You know, we don't sit here and scream and argue on the phone because he respects me as his father and I respect him as my son. Okay, moving on. So once he said that, he said he supports Lil Wayne in whatever he wants to do, because as we all know by now, Lil Wayne wants off of Young Money and he's suing him for $50 million, and he just wants, well, Lil Wayne wants to be off of Cash Money because, you know, Young Money is a part of Cash Money, but he wants to separate Young Money, take it from Cash Money, and just have his own thing and not mess with the Cash Money side of things. But Birdman was like, I support him in anything he want to do. If he went off and he want to go pursue something else, he has my full support. But I'm not paying him the $50 million that he wants, because I just gave him like a new contract not too long ago that was worth millions. I've given him contracts in the past that was worth millions. So I feel like as far as the money that he's asking for, he does not deserve that from me. So another point that he made, he said that Nicki and Drake ain't going nowhere. He was like, they are happy. He said, I look at them as like my little brother and my little sister. We in a good space. I respect them. They respect me. They not leaving nowhere. They not leaving this Cash Money family. It's not happening. Whatever. I don't care. Wayne could go. But those two, they're going to stay here. Another point that he had made, the whole Live situation. I think maybe 2-3 videos ago, I talked about how everyone was talking about how Lil Wayne was performing at Club Live in Miami, and it was like, oh, Birdman was throwing drinks. Birdman said, why would I do that? Like I said, that's my son, I'm his father, we respect each other. This was not the first time we was ever in the same place since, you know, he came out talking about that he didn't want to be on the label no more. And then he said that if anybody in my team threw that, they would have got checked. Matter of fact, everybody in his team, he was saying, they know better not to do anything. And he was like, best believe, if we found out who threw whatever drinks off the balcony at him, we checked that. So he was like, I had nothing to do with that, and I have too much respect for him. And he was like, if I was to find out who did that, trust me, I'm gonna check them about that situation. So basically, he's like, you know, letting us know that it's not as bad as I guess he was saying, like the media makes it, or how as bad as we, you know, think it is. So he did say, however, that he was, you know, hurt by Lil Wayne's statements on social media as far as how he wanted off of Young Money, off of Cash Money, and how he just wanted Young Money. Like, he was like, he was hurt about that, but he said that they never had a discussion about that within itself, about him wanting to be apart from the label. So Angie was basically like, okay, why not? And he was like, you know, it's just never the right time. He said, we both have studios that's right next to each other, so we see each other often. He said, sometimes, you know, I go into his studio and listen to some of his music, but, you know, he's out on the road, and if we're working on music, that's never the time. So I feel like he was kind of saying, or from what I was getting, is that this is a conversation that's long overdue, and they're just prolonging it. And the more they're prolonging it, we're just thinking it's just like worse. Like, basically everything that we've been hearing about the whole Lil Wayne and Birdman situation, he was saying that it's not as bad as we think it is, and basically the opposite. So aside from that, he said that he did not push back Lil Wayne's album, so he want everybody to, you know, stop talking about that. he addressed the whole alleged beef between Young Thug and Lil Wayne. He said that the only reason why Young Thug wanted to name his mixtape, you know, Carter 6 from the beginning was because he idolizes Lil Wayne and he just wanted to do something in his dedication. As far as the whole bus shooting that I talked about probably 2 videos ago or something like that, he said he had nothing to do with that. He said no gang. He said like it's just all garbage, it's all trash, like it's lies basically. They didn't have nothing to do with that bus shooting. He was like, why would I want to try to kill my son? And I felt like he kept on saying my son throughout this entire interview. And in my mind, after a while, I kind of like transpired him saying my son as he was calling Lil Wayne like his bitch or something. But that's just me personally, because like I said, you really don't know like what's the truth now. It was like Wayne say what he have to say, Birdman is finally saying what he have to say, but y'all know what they say about every situation. It's always 3 sides to a story. One side, the second side, and then the truth. So we may never know. And then as far as the rumors, he said that the rumors of him not paying his artists, he brought up, you know, Wayne saying how he never got paid. He brought up Tyga saying he ain't never got paid. She brought up past artist Turk from Hot Boys. She brought that up years ago. And then he was like, okay, let's not even talk about Turk. But he was like, I don't pay my artists. He said, me, Wayne, Nicki, and Drake is all on Forbes list. On Forbes top 10 list. So what you mean I don't pay my artists? If I don't pay my artists, what we all doing on Forbes, you know? So I kind of got what he was saying with that, and I agreed with him. Probably, you know, other, you know, Cash Money, Young Money artists that kind of was like swept under the rug. You know, we had Chanel, Gutta, Lil Twist. What happened to Little Chucky? Like, so I don't know if those are the type of artists that saying they ain't never get paid, but for the most part, he said me, Wayne, Nicki, and Drake is on Forbes top 10 list. So what you mean I don't pay my artists? And then the last note that I have here is, and I felt like towards the end of the interview that, you know, we got to see him be like a little bit more vulnerable. She was asking him about like retirement, because basically he mentioned a lot of the record labels that was around when Cash Money started, and a lot of the label heads that was around that time within the 90s, they're not around no more. So he said for him to actually be one of those people who was around from back then and still be here now, he felt like it was a blessing. And he was like, yo, I've been through so much, I've made so much money, I could retire tomorrow. So then she was like, okay, so like what would take it for you to like want to really retire? And he was like, yo, if Wayne was to actually like seriously like leave Cash Money and move on, I honestly would probably retire. I don't know what I would do. I'll probably spend time with my kids, but I don't see no point. If Wayne is not doing it, why am I even here? And I felt like after that entire thing, I just felt like, you know, Birdman is hurt. He's hurt. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, it's 3 sides to every story. So, I mean, honestly, deep down in my heart, I just really feel like, and I've said this before probably, I just want them to work it out. Like I said, Cash Money definitely is like legendary for them to like build their own like label. They go from like an independent label to now in 2015 being like considered like a major label. So like too much history, like it's just, I don't know what went wrong, how it went wrong, but hopefully, you know, they fix it soon. But I mean, if you guys did not catch the Angie Martinez interview with Birdman, I'll be sure to link it below in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So yeah, moving on to my 4th beat of this week. It's a little short, but I don't know if I've mentioned a few times that I just cannot wait to see K.Michelle go on tour. So I don't think I mentioned her tour that she had as recently, but she was supposed to be going on tour with Azalea Banks this past fall, well this upcoming fall I should say, and the tour just got canceled like yesterday. So shout out to Bria for actually letting me know, and then I got like more details like when I went on like the blogs and stuff. And K.Michelle, she actually posted a message and she said, "Hey Rebels, to say I am crushed is an understatement. I try my best to push myself over the limit, and if you don't listen to your body, it will make you listen. While currently filming numerous television shows, readying my businesses, and working on my new album, I simply cannot overexert myself any more than I already have." And then she talked about how heartbroken she was that she had to cancel on Azealia Banks, and then she said, "First, there's absolutely no drama between me and Azealia. We have a mutual respect for each other as women and artists. I can't wait to get in the studio with her and for you guys to hear the music we've been working on." She said, "Secondly, it wasn't low ticket sales due to such an overwhelming response with this tour. There have been conversations about adding a second show in various cities. Above all, my fans mean the world to me, and the last thing I want to do is disappoint them. I want to thank you all for having my back and supporting me through the good and the bad. I can't wait for you all to see what's in store and hear this new music. All the tickets that have been purchased will be refunded, and I will see you guys next year. New album, new tour." Now, me personally, like, I was ready to go to the tour only because I went to see K.Michelle. Azealia Banks, she causes too much trouble. Honestly, I really did not care to see her, and I've heard some of her music before at night. It really didn't capture me. It's just not my cup of tea. Long story short, I'm not gonna say she's a whack artist, she's not talented. It's just that it's not the type of music that I'm interested in hearing. But for the most part, I really wanted to see K.Michelle, but it made me iffy with the whole Azealia Banks thing. And then I was like, oh, you know, maybe I can just go to the show late and I can, you know, catch just K.Michelle's part. But their show was supposed to be at the Best Buy Theater, and that's like general admission, so I didn't want to be in that. And then my friend Sheen want to go because she don't feel Azealia Banks neither. So I'm like low-key happy because now I feel like I'm not missing out on anything. So I'm just kind of hoping, you know, that, like she said, at the top of next year I will see our new album, new tour. Obviously, I can't wait for her to go on tour. Whoever she goes on tour with, I'm hoping is more of a better fit than Azealia Banks, because I feel like they're not even similar in artistry, which is, I guess, why she wants them to go on tour. But I feel like you want somebody that you can mesh well with musically to go on tour with. So whether she goes on tour by herself or she, you know, picks a better artist that matches with her to go on tour, I'm excited. Of course, you know, I'm excited for new K.Michelle music. Already got the first 2 albums, know them front to back, like back my hand, so it's cool. So yeah, K.Michelle and Azealia Banks new tour canceled, X out. So yeah, and moving on to my last beat of this week, I have to talk about my auntie Monica. So I think I want to say maybe 2 months ago, she kind of, you know, revealed that she will be coming out with her new album called Red. And then I kind of went into this whole rant about how much I love her and how inspirational she is as an artist, a mother, a wife, just as a person. She's just all around good, kind-hearted person. I love her so much. And then I talked about her last 2 albums and how much I love them. And now there's more information regarding her new album called Red. So I watched an interview with her and a DJ by the name of DJ Small's Eyes. I don't really know him, but I saw the interview on Singer's Room, and she basically just went more into depth about her upcoming album called Red. And she started the interview by saying that her new album called Red will be releasing on September 18th. So you already know for a fact I'm getting the album, I'm doing a review, and it's already written down in my calendar because I love me some Monica. But other than that, she kind of went into talking about how she loves releasing her album around that time. One, because her kids are just going back to school, so she can kind of like, you know, get into doing what she needs to do to make the music pop. So she's interested, or she's excited, I should say, to go on promotional tours, to go on regular tours and stuff like that. You know, do music videos, just travel and stuff. So whenever Monica is performing and she's in the New York City area, you know I'm in there. And aside from that, she talked about why she named her album called Red, and she says that she feels like the state of R&B is in, like, you know, state of emergency. So that's why she named it called Red. She says she feels like that it's artists such as like herself and like Tyrese, and she said of course she can't do it by herself, but you know, it needs to be more artists that, you know, let this generation know what's the true meaning behind R&B, the love, the happiness, and you know, that's what she's bringing with this new album. She talked about, you know, producers that she worked with, Polo the Don, who just happens to also be her cousin. She talked about, you know, working with Rico Love. She said she always has to consult with Dallas Austin because he's the one that even put her out there in the first place. And then she talked about, you know, kind of reminiscing on some of her classic hits, such as Before You Walk Out of My Life, Angel of Mine. And I was like, I'm just so here for it. She said when she first came out, she was like 13. Now she's 34. So, you know, a lot of people in this generation don't really know who she is. But I mean, my thing was, if you're, you know, up on your music history and you want to know who your favorite artist from today was inspired by, you would know who Monica is. But even if you don't know who Monica is, she is coming back. She's trying to reach all generations, all age groups with her new music, and I'm excited for it. I'm so here for it. So remember, Code Red will be coming out September 18th, and of course I'm going to remind you guys repeatedly up until the day. So yeah, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's video, and of course, you know, I have to remind you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone else. It would greatly be appreciated. I have 2 notes to leave you guys with this week. So my first note of this week, of course, I have to talk about Bobby Christina. Unfortunately, at the age of 22, she passed away this week. Back in January, she was found face down in a tub, and then since then she was in a coma, and then within like the past couple of weeks she was placed within hospice care, and she passed away this week. So my condolences to the Houston and Brown family. It's such a sad situation. I always said, being the only offspring of Whitney Houston, and then also being, you know, the daughter of Bobby Brown, she had so much potential to do so many great things within this world, and unfortunately it had to end this way. And I'm just really sad, like someone who's like my age group is like gone, and it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, and I wish it could have been turned around. But other than that, my second note of this week, I just have to let you guys know that Mariah Carey, you know, the ultimate diva, darling, she will be receiving her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week on August 5th. It's definitely long overdue. I was talking with my friends earlier this week, and I was like, there's some people that got their star before Mariah, and you know, it was crazy, but I guess better late than never. I mean, she's had a remarkable career. We don't even have to think about the last 2 years of her career because it's not important. It definitely does not measure up to what she's done for all of the other years that's made her the Mariah Carey that we know her to be today. So congratulations to Mariah. And of course, you guys know I have to leave you with my song of the week, and my song of the week is gonna have to go to one of my favorite singers, Bridget Kelly. If you guys can retract back to my New Year's video, I said that my top moment of 2014 was actually doing an interview with her, and now she is back with new music. She has her latest single, Act Like That, featuring my, you know, celebrity crushes of like junior high school, Mac Wiles, and it is off of her latest EP, which is called Summers of 17, which releases next week. So if you guys want to hear the song in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Once again, I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.